Dear Von Hansen, is it good? Is it bad? Should you go? Should you not? Find out today. Hi, how you doing today, Movie Nation? It's Just Jess here. Hope you're having a good day. And today, yes, guys, Dear Von Hansen, I am located in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. Today, we are going to go at AMC Niles, so at 12:05 in IMAX. That's right, guys, in IMAX. If you don't know who I am, hello, hi, my name is Jess. My YouTube channel, It's Just Jess. Here we do movie reviews, giving you the biggest and best reviews of the movies that are releasing at the time. So please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Stick around towards the end because we are going to review it, guys. AMC Niles 12. Dear Evan Hazen, today is going to be a good day because we need to be confident, respectful, approachable, but just be mostly yourself. I don't know why critics don't like this movie as much as the audience. There's a lot of theories behind it, and I've seen some of the reviews, and I'm just like, it's not good because this movie is definitely has its flaws, like, let's be honest, but also trumps those flaws with better perspectives on being alone. Is this movie worth going at IMAX? I want to say personally, it really depends. If you have Adobe nearby, it's probably better for you because this is a musical. Broadway turned into a musical movie. Now, Adobe, as we all know, it's better in Dolby Atmos. Reason why I went to IMAX was only because of timings. I couldn't find a time, even though it was close in my area, to go in Dolby. This is the first movie I would rather go see in Dolby. But because I couldn't go, I rather chose IMAX with a bigger screen and better sound than the original format. Now, if you don't care about the music and the singing choice, all you care about is the story, then I think just regular version would be okay. But I think for the majority of us, if you want to get the best experience, I think for this movie, I'm sorry, even though I went to go see in IMAX, because to me, I will always go see a better format than the original, I think Dolby was way to go for this movie. Even for IMAX, it's still a good experience. It just wasn't a great experience, especially if you could watch it in Dolby. So Dear Evan, what is it? It's a Broadway turned into the musical movie. Now here in Chicago, we don't have a lot of Broadway, so I have no idea that this was like a musical or a Broadway show or whatever. So we don't really have that. But I'm really glad that because now it's like, I know I'm more invested in these actors, the musical. Like I wish I was in New York. This movie follows kind of the same formula as Pitch Perfect, Cinderella 2021, The Greatest Showman, as well as In the Heights. Now this movie less focuses on dancing, which I felt like was also a flaw because there was like one dancing scene with Connor. Spoiler alert, I'm not going to talk about anything other than the trailers, other than some scenes that we will have to get into, but it follows dialogue singing, which I felt like that was a missed opportunity maybe because it's like a high school. You could have had like the teenagers dancing. Evan is played by Ben Platt, which is also a high school senior and is taking antidepressants for anxiety and depression. Trailer says it's a love musical letter to anyone that feels lonely, and it probably is a great time that it came out this way because during the pandemic, during high school, middle school, even after college, or just being alone in isolation right now because of the pandemic, like this movie, I guess what it really boils down to is if you come to like it, whether it is in your life or not. Now, I don't know why some critics like can't emphasize with Evan. I definitely can because I'm not getting like talk about my life, but it's definitely heartbreaking to be alone sometimes. And high school is probably even the worst because it feels like you're never gonna get out. If you're in college like me, it feels way more lonelier because it's like friends get married, they have kids, they go away. So it's definitely a good time that we get to see this movie. It's a story about being alone in high school, but Evan wants everything to change. His family, his finances, his love interest, because every movie has that. And I'm not saying that I don't love because I do. I mean, look at my background. He also wants himself to change, like basically everything around it. He just wants people to notice him, and he does get that wish. Spoiler alert, in the trailers it does that. Connor is the character they talk about in trailers. He killed himself, and that's where the movie really transpires. Now him and Evan only get a brief scenes in the beginning of the movie when he signs his cast, and Connor's like, now we both can pretend like he has friends. Evan wrote a note to a therapist, but for Connor, he grabbed it right before and he started reading it. He didn't like what it said because I'm not going to ruin spoilers for you, but there's something about like detrimental to the story, and so he kills himself later on, which is very unfortunate. But also Evan has a little bit dark secrets, but it gets to reveal us to the end how detrimental of that scene is, because after that his step parents come in. You saw this in the trailers. They think that he wrote the last letter to Evan. He saw the cast, they invite him over for dinner. Instead of telling the truth, Evan goes on this lie and says that yeah, he was my best friend, and he was saying stories about his own personal life and why he got the cast. And at first when you're watching the movie, Evan, when he talks to people are just like he's struggling. However, the movie does a great job of when he starts singing the words coming out of his mouth, as well as explaining the details of what happened in his personal reasons. So example, with the dinner scene, the first time when they bring him over, he's like very shy. He's like, yeah, I don't know. But then when he starts singing, it's like music to our ears, no point intentionally, but the family starts listening. Like, I just love that the struggle of him like trying to communicate to people, but then when he sings it out, because it is a musical, the people actually know what they're saying. They think that it's music. Like, I know it's really hard to explain it, but let's just say this. He has trouble speaking, he sings, and to us, we see that hearing in the music, but the people, the characters are in the movie, they look at it as like, wow, this guy just started being nervous instead of being all confident, using great words. That's because they're looking at and they're responding in normal conversation manner. I thought the movie did a great job with that. It's like, whoa, like you don't see that type of storytelling, especially in a musical that this year has been like bombarded with more musicals than usual, which is great. I thought that was a little key detail. Now, Connor, I'm sorry to say this, but like he did kill himself, but it just felt like he had a perfect family. He had a mother, a stepfather who was rich, and a sister. And it's like, I'm not gonna say who the sister was unless you know, but it's like we know more details now about why he killed himself later throughout the movie. And it's really awesome to see progressive this lie that Evan has, that it's his best friend, go like detrimentally big, because it's like I'm thinking to myself, this lie has become so big. They start doing charities, he starts getting known to people who would not talk to him already talk to him, and it's like, wow, he kind of gets his wish but also doesn't at the same time. And then he starts spending more time with the Murphy family. It almost feels like they're having him as a second son, because his mom is in the movie but she's never around. She's like a nurse and she works late hours. I mean, she's a single mother, so it feels like his parents are never there. And I'm not going to talk about Evan's dad because that is spoiler alert, but I just felt like this movie had a great message overall to people being alone, because it just shows that even no matter what you're alone, and the movie does say about this, is that just reach out, like just be together. And especially during the pandemic, isolation, college, because you never know when you graduate high school. I had no idea I was going to do YouTube. I had no idea like where I wanted to go in life. Like I felt so lost. Some of my friends are not my friends anymore, and it's like I don't know why critics like can't explain that. I mean, maybe they did, some of them, but I didn't watch every single one of them. And it's a great message overall, like the story, the message, it's perfect for especially now that we're living in this pandemic. That's what I want you guys to know, especially the speech scene in the gym. You know how he has the flashcards? So I'm gonna touch about this a little bit, because to me that was the greatest scene, and not because it has a licensed soundtrack. You Will Be Found, Sam Smith and Summer Walker. Evan starts talking in the speech because everyone's like, oh, Connor, like they're trying to have a memorial for him. Evan starts talking and he has his flashcard and he's like so nervous, so jittery. And remember when I told you earlier about when he starts singing? So something happens in that scene. People start taking their phones out because they're about to laugh, but little they didn't know they're capturing the most greatest thing. And I don't want to ruin it for you, but I will say that when he starts singing that soundtrack, You Will Be Found, I just thought it was amazing, because it was such a beautiful dynamic, because then that scene splits into everyone else in the YouTube sphere, Twitter sphere, Instagram sphere starts saying thank you. It's blowing up all over as seen in the trailers. Everyone knows who he is now. So basically he got his wish, but at the cost of someone dying. And I just thought that scene was so perfect because, no pun intended, he rises up to the challenge. He was so nervous at first and everyone was laughing at him. And it's like now that everyone knows who he is and talking about Connor, everyone's like, whoa, this guy can like, to them it's talking, but to us, like the scene, the emotional depth of the story. And one thing too, I felt like a lot of scenes were sad. Like all the characters are sad. They're all like, you know, crying, and like I get it, it's a sad movie, and like, but I definitely could feel like being alone, heartbroken, panic attacks, even though they don't have panic attacks here, but he does go to the bathroom to like throw up, and I felt like that was an anxiety attack or panic attack. So it just really comes down to if you can sympathize with this character. If you want me to elaborate more on like my personal details, just let me know in the comments and I'll let you know exactly why. Just everything, pandemic, isolation, feels like you have no one to talk to, like high school, college, you know, you feel lost. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, there was a point in life when I wanted the girl, and sometimes I got her, sometimes I didn't. So that's why I can sympathize with this character, like having only one friend. Like that was in middle school for me. High school, everything changed, college did too, but it's like even now, being an adult, you know, where are my friends now? Most of the songs, I'm sorry, I really didn't care for, except for the speech scene, the gym part, which is the You Will Be Found. I'm not saying I don't like it, I'm just saying personally, I didn't really care for them as much as the gym scene, which is You Will Be Found. Maybe because it's Sam Smith, but still. Ben Platt, he's a great actor and a great musical, but I was in show choir ever since middle school and high school, and I just felt like he's tried to hit too high and he couldn't. I don't know, I was like, oh, like that, like his voice is good, but I'm just saying maybe he's having a hard time to reach the tenor notes, you know, like being an older adult tenor, he could have been a baritone or bass, but still he did a good job. But I just felt like maybe he was struggling a little bit. I'm not trying to laugh, but I'm just like, I love 2/3 of the movie, but it was just really coming down to it to the end, because I'm like, how are they gonna contain this for the final act? Like it was messy at times, the plot, even though it was kind of easy to follow, it was just like everywhere, and it's like, how are they gonna contain this? And they do. It feels like an airplane landing and then shakes, because the ending, even though I don't like it, I do respect it. I'm not, that's all I'm gonna say, because I know people are gonna be like, oh, you ruined it. I'm not ruining it for you guys. Maybe I would have done something different, but I don't know, maybe there was another way. The romance scene, I'm sorry, it just didn't do it for me. Like as much as I was happy that I saw it, I'm like, really? Like they're going this route? I'm just like, I can't. Maybe because I'm looking at like adult romance movies, you know? Overall, honestly guys, I love the story and the message of this movie. I guess it really comes down to it, what point in your life, if you ever felt alone or not, and if you like musicals. But other than that, dear Evan Hansen, I did like this movie. I thought it was a good movie. Overall, I did not think it was a great movie. I am not a critic. I am not gonna bash this movie. I still will give it a high score, but I can see definitely some of its flaws, and maybe they could make a second part 2. Okay, so if you made it this far, I just want to say spoiler alert for that particular scene, because I cannot stop talking about it. She goes to visit him and she says, I like you. And I'm just like, so, that's why I felt so tacky. I felt so cringe, because I've dated girls in my life, but she's just like, I like you, I want to be with you, and it's like, I don't know, it just felt like forced. And I get it, it's a movie, and I was just like, man, I felt like they could have done a better job. But then, like I said, these romance movies that you guys see behind me are more mature, and I get it that this movie is geared towards a different audience and a different message about being alone. But I just felt like maybe they could have handled it different, or maybe they could have that kiss, you know, instead of just her telling him. I like, because in real life, I've only had that happen to me after like me and her kissed and stuff. So I like what they were trying to do. I just felt like it could have been better. But honestly, guys, that's gonna be everything for me today. Hope you have a great day, and let me know if you need anything. If you made it this far, I appreciate you so much. And honestly, if you just want someone to talk to, you know I'm always here. Jump down to the comments below. Let me know what you think. Take care, guys.